Hey, this is Maginoni. Welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. We have some surprises this week, that's for sure. So let's get right on it. The Good is Batman Europa. Now, this is going to be really hard to argue this not being a solid title. I mean, this is a, an incredible piece of work, if I say so. Um, it's, you have Azzarello, you have Jim Lee on it, and you have Batman and Joker having to work together. The art is just simply fantastic, and I'll be honest. Like if they came out with a just a penciled trade, with no, like not with all the color, this it really would be, I think, worth getting because there's the pencil work in here is really phenomenal. So Jim Lee has really outdone himself for this. Now, the basic premise is, Batman's out on the case, and Alfred calls him in saying that they have this alert that says that there's his system has been infected with the Colossus virus, and at first thought is it's the computer system, but Batman quickly figures it out, or they figured out that it's not the computer, it's Batman himself, his system, and he goes on a wild goose chase to try to track down what happened, which leads him to the Joker, and we discover that the Joker has also been infected with the virus, and Joker's leaving a wake of bodies in his path to find the cure. And one thing that was kind of disappointing, though, was this body right here, which clearly looks like this was supposed to be Lobo, and that's kind of sad. Killed a little bit of me inside, but awesome, awesome piece of work, man. If DC had this quality on more books, oh, watch out. Maybe they wouldn't lose all of the top 10 like they did in October. But let's go to the next one, the bad. As much as I have to say about the good here, I don't, this was one of the most worthless pieces of trash that I've read in a long time. Now, I'm guilty of this because when I looked at this cover, I was like, looks badass. Okay, Anarchy, nah. But look at Our Man. Our Man is supposed to be a superhero. He's a villain now on Earth 2. And he's holding a decapitated head with blood dripping. And then you have Johnny Sorrow, who's like a tremendously powerful supervillain. So when I saw this cover, I was like, oh, I know this is going to bite me in the end, but I got to do it. Got to get it. And the Hourman part of it makes sense because if you remember when you had the that stupid miniseries, that 52-week miniseries with the Earth 2 and fighting, you had the Batman's father, Bruce's father, come in to join the fight, and he was on a drug that gave him temporary power, abilities, and that's what Our Man here is. I mean, in a sense, it's the same version as of Our Man, but at least they tied it, I think, a little bit better into their specific storyline. Then I started looking at the artwork, and I'm just going, okay, I get it. His style is pretty angular. It doesn't look like it borders on any type of realism, which is, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But then I started looking at the rest of this book, and I'm just like thinking to myself, my God, you have no concept of how to draw backgrounds. And this is one of the worst illustrated books I have seen in a long time, which makes me realize, yeah, that's probably why you didn't win the top 10, any spots in the top 10, because you put out trash like this. Now, this is pretty much just a battle book between the society and these characters, and I'll be honest, like I went from high excitement because of this to, as every page I read, I cared less and less about what happened. And until I got to the end, and it just was a horrible experience. It was just, I regretted purchasing this book, through every fiber of my soul. The disappointing Captain America, Sam Wilson. Beware Cap Wolf. Okay. On one level. Alright, actually, before I go into the levels, basically what's going on is your typical, Falcon Cap is jumping into the heat of the battle. He needs some help. He calls Misty Knight, and Misty Knight's needed to save him. Okay. We get that part, right? Well, he's going up with this villain that's kind of like a Carnage, like, body. Because he's got all these tentacles and stuff. And what he does is he absorbs like animal stuff. Because he takes Redwing and he just absorbs Redwing into his body. And he's going to use the Redwing DNA to make these human hybrids. So he makes Captain America into Cap Wolf. Now, okay, I realize that they make fun of this because on one level, if for those of you who don't know, Captain America was turned into a werewolf years ago, and that was because of this thing called the Bloodstone, and they acknowledged that this happened in this book. So in a way, they're kind of doing a homage, and I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna go, "Oh, that's really clever. Oh, I see what you did there. You just, it's like Falcon was Cap, and Cap's no longer Falcon, so they got to they turned him into a werewolf, and that's kind of funny." Let me assure you, it's not humorous. I think when I read that part, all I thought was, you have no ideas. It's kind of like, I get the homage, but at the same time, it's like, why don't you make it your own? And then, the guy moves on after he turns Captain America into the Cap Wolf, and then he's off to his thing, and then Captain America comes crashing through again, and they do a battle with these other animal creatures. Like there's a toad. It's basically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what I'm gonna say here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you remember, especially for those of you who remember the old Eastman and Laird RPG game, this is that right there. And then you start seeing these other creatures, and then it really hit home. Going, okay, I am a scientist, a little on the wonky side. I can take DNA and I can turn people into animals. You have Captain America, or in this case Falcon, who is an expert at hand-to-hand combat. He can fly with his suit. He's you don't want to really fight him, So what do? I got all this animal DNA. I could turn him into a turtle. I can turn him into a snake. Let's turn him into a wolf. A wolf that is powerful, it's fast, it's strong, it's got teeth, it's got claws, and you're giving all of that to somebody who can fight. And then I'm thinking, you, sir, are a complete and utter idiot, and I completely lost interest in this book. It's to the point where I just want to drop it because of this idiotic writing. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to play the supervillain here a little bit, right? Where you don't kill the hero, but yet you put him into the death trap, right? I would turn Captain America into a beta fish or a guinea pig. One of those two. You put him in a beta fish and you put a bowl on his head. That's it. He's not fighting. And a guinea pig. Think about it. Cap, guinea pig. Best story of all time. And that is the supervillain right there. That is a true mastermind supervillain. Not this, well, let's just turn him into a wolf so he's even more powerful. Ah, shit, man, these people. Anyways, this is the good, the bad, the disappointing of the week. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Like, share. We'll have some more videos later. So until next time.